Charles Koch Arena on the campus of Wichita State University. The Shockers, their second of 5 in a row at home. Alcorn State, the Lady Braves, a second of 4 in a row away from home. Welcome in to the arena. It's Shane Dennis alongside Tracy Anderson. And let's get to our keys to the game here for this only the third matchup between the Lady Braves and Wichita State all time. They need to clamp down, the Lady Braves do. They allowed 99 against Southeast Louisiana in their opener, and some freebies would help. They only had 2 of them against Southeast Louisiana, so maybe a few more tonight. Now, Wichita State, those two keys for the Shockers, continue to spread the wealth. They had 16 assists on their 28 makes on Friday, and Asia Strong set the bar really high for herself in her first game as a Shocker. She had 20 points, but Tracy, I know you added another key that you thought would be pivotal for both teams, that Alcorn State likes to drive it, so Wichita State's going to have to guard without fouling and sending Alcorn State to the line. Especially since they're short on numbers. That's going to be important for them. There's your starting lineups as Alcorn State's lost 99-65 to Southeast Louisiana. Kayla Abello had 18. Curtis Clark had 12, so they had 30 of the 65 for the Lady Braves in their loss. And Wichita State still shorthanded. They have 8. They gained 1 and lost 1, and we will get into that in more detail here in just a little bit. 4 players in double figures on Friday afternoon as Wichita State dispatched of Texas A&M Corpus Christi. The officials for this evening's game, it will be John Capolino, Blanca Burns, and Zach Brost blowing the whistles here this evening. Glad you could join us here on ESPN Plus, and we're underway. Wichita State wins the tip. The only other 2 times that these teams matched up in women's basketball was way back in 1991, game won by the Lady Braves, and 3 years ago, Wichita State, big winners by 41 in this arena. Shockers with the first possession. They shot it at 48.3% on Friday afternoon in their 20-point win over the Islanders of A&M Corpus Christi, and Seraphine Baston had it knocked away late in the shot clock. We'll see what Keitha Adams has drawn up for the Shockers here, Tracy.
Well, and she knows that Alcorn State, they're going to play a lot of different defenses, and so it's important for her that her forwards attack the glass and take advantage of their height in the paint.
And Baston just got unbelievable position underneath. Her first 2, she had 11. She was one of the 4 in double figures on Friday afternoon.
And it's going to be important with McCauley out that she continues her strong play on both ends of the floor.
That's a 3 and 2 strong weak side rebound, though, by Deja Mitchell. She only had 3 points in the loss against Southeast Louisiana, but she steals the Lady Braves another possession.
And Alcorn State is really spreading the floor against that zone, really spreading the floor. And
one thing neither team did in their opener, and that was have turnover problems. Alcorn State only gave it away 13 times, Wichita State only 11 while forcing 23. And so now Alcorn State setting up with a 3-quarter court pressure. Like Friday, Wichita State has only 8 healthy players. And one of their stars from Friday, Mariah McCulley, is out tonight. So they trade out McCulley and hopefully will get Rachel Johnson back, who did not play in the opener. Carla Bremaud turned it over. No, it looked like maybe there was some discussion of a Lady Brave maybe touching it, but there's the first giveaway for Wichita State.
And Coach Adams said that Alcorn State's going to throw a lot of different defenses at them, so it's important that those guards recognize it and don't force the ball, but get the ball rotating and moving.
Alcorn State under first-year head coach Nathaniel Kilbert, but he's no stranger to the SWAC. We'll get to his details in just a little bit. He spent a lot of time as an assistant at Alcorn and as a head coach at 2 other places in the SWAC. So this is his first season as the head man for the Lady Braves. They were 13-18 a year ago and a respectable 9-9 in the SWAC. There's another offensive rebound for the Lady Braves, and a banker off the window is good by Tajane Wright. She had 7 points against Southeast Louisiana and has the first 2 here this evening.
Again, we talked about the first game when Wichita State had to go to a zone. That blocking out in a zone is difficult, and so they made them pay there. So it's going to be important when they spread the floor like that offensively that they check somebody off the glass.
Asia Strong misfired on her first attempt. She had 20 points and 6 rebounds in her Shocker debut Friday afternoon, the transfer from Trinity Valley Community College. Even up at 2, about 2.5 minutes gone by here in the Roundhouse. Three right side wouldn't go for Kayla Abello. She led the Lady Braves with 18 points the other night against Southeast Louisiana, and right now they are murdering Wichita State on the offensive glass, Tracy.
Two long shot attempts means 2 long rebounds, and they've tipped it out, and the guards got caught kind of floating out on that shot attempt for WSU.
Tajane Wright with all 4 points for the Lady Braves, and Alcorn State off to a pretty decent start. 2 out of 5 shooting, but most importantly, 5 rebounds.
And Coach Adams can't be happy with that because they need to be controlling the boards.
And a shuffle step by Deja Mitchell. One thing that you mentioned with Keith Adams wouldn't be happy with the way they started, but they're going to have to get used to quick turnarounds, and we're talking about next weekend, for example. They got 2 games on the weekend,
yes,
and 5 all told in pretty short order here at home.
Yeah, I think leadership is really going to show in this season because you're going to have to adjust on the fly. You're going to have to be flexible and pivot, with the situation.
Seraphine Baston got grabbed, it looked like. The call against Kayla Abello, I believe. We'll wait for the official word. So there's first foul on either team of the quarter. Seraphine Baston with a career-high tying 4 steals to go with 6 assists and 11 points, and another stat-stuffing effort that she had on opening afternoon. Strong kept the pivot foot down and banked it in. So Asia Strong, again, with that 20-point debut, gets her first 2 and knots it up at 4.
That was amazing footwork on her part. That's really tough for a post player to pivot twice and keep her foot.
So Shockers in that zone trying to not only protect against fatigue, but potential foul trouble. And as you mentioned, Tracy, driving to the basket, making sure if you don't have a player to keep in front of you, at least you can clog up the middle. And that's looked like what the Shockers have done. But you also correctly pointed out that they are having a devil of a time finding players to block out.
Well, Alcorn is spreading the floor on that zone. And so they sometimes have 5 players out. So it's really hard to match up on box outs on those.
And Asia Strong looks like shaken up a little bit or maybe lost a contact. The latter would be more ideal. Trajana Colbert will come in. And we're going to have a timeout on the floor. It looks to be that way. We'll wait for the official word. So 4-4.
Maybe there's blood on the floor?
So no official signal that we're calling time. Yeah, we've got an Alcorn State player with a skinned elbow. And for as poorly as Wichita State has started on the boards, Nathaniel Kilbert's got to be thrilled because his bunch was out-rebounded by 11 against Southeast Louisiana, and they're not a big club anyway, but the way they're rebounding in the first 4 minutes, you'd never know it.
Right, and the old adage, you shoot long threes, long shots create long rebounds, and that's been the case right early on for WSU. And it looks like Asia Strong got hit in the mouth because they're attending to maybe a cut on her lip. Maybe that was the blood on the floor.
So it would appear that Deja Mitchell's elbow found Asia Strong's chiclets. we've got some potential issues. Some of the medical staff tending to Asia Strong and cleaning up whatever might be on the floor right now. So a little bit of housekeeping at the moment. Here's another look. Maybe we'll didn't look like there was anything too egregious, Tracy. I don't think she swung any elbows, so we don't need to necessarily take a look at the monitor.
No, I don't know if actually she got hit prior to that clip because she was off on the left-hand side, but she's definitely is bleeding from the mouth area. Hopefully she can come back. That would be a big blow to WSU if she's unable to do that.
Well, for a shorthanded team to begin with, to lose somebody that scored 20 points in her debut, that would be Well, don't want to speculate, but just 2 games in of a 5-game homestand before the conference starts, that's not exactly the start you want to get off on health-wise.
No, and she's a tough matchup for anybody because she's strong. She can also step out and shoot the 3 or shoot the outside jump shot. So that's an important piece for the Shockers.
So both teams kind of regrouping here 4 minutes in. And so far, Alcorn State shooting 2 out of 6. The Shockers 2 for 4. And in the opening loss that Alcorn had against Southeast Louisiana, they were only 2 of 13 from 3. They've misfired on all 4 of their 3s that they've tried here in the early going. But the difference is +6. That's rebounds. 6 for the Lady Braves, none for Wichita State. 0 rebounds so far.
Yeah, that's amazing, and that's something that you have to address early on.
So Asia Strong has now gone back into the tunnel, presumably into the Shocker locker room. Trajana Colbert, there you see in the middle of your screen, replacing her. So on the Shockers will go without Asia Strong. So after a little bit of tape being applied to the elbow of Mitchell and Asia Strong exiting for the moment, back at it. 18 to shoot for the Lady Braves underneath their own basket. Mentioned that the Lady Braves 13 and 18 a year ago. That was a stark turnaround from the 2 years prior, and this is Nathaniel Kilbert's first year as a head coach there. And there's the first 3 there. That was one of the keys that we talked about. Any 3-pointers that the Lady Braves throw in is an added bonus, and Obello knocks down her first triple, and the Braves lead by 3.
Great move.
That was a quick move to the baseline by Anae Adams. She was another player that impressed in her first game as a Shocker. She had 6 points and 10 rebounds Friday.
Yes, she was very active on the glass on both ends of the floor and controlled the boards for the Shockers. Hopefully she can do that again tonight.
There's another 3 from the right wing. That's good. McAfee's first triple. She only had 6 points against Southeast Louisiana. There's 2 threes in the first quarter, equaling the Lady Braves' entire output from the Southeast Louisiana game. Baston to answer, and she nails a 3. So now we're into a game of horse here midway through the first quarter.
Nice job by McCarty to push the ball in transition against that press and hit Bastine open for a wide open 3.
Angle 3 left side wouldn't go. Abello tried a little heat check there, and the rebound by Anae Adams. So Wichita State finally pulls down a board. Colbert, a little too hard, wouldn't go. Putback wouldn't go. Colbert tried to keep it alive. Here comes Abello. Lady Braves on a 3-on-3. Little banker goes. Deja Mitchell's first basket. And boy, Alcorn State is off to a pretty darn efficient start here through the first 6 minutes. They are now 5 out of 10 from the floor.
Yeah, Coach Kilbert couldn't have asked for a better start for his Lady Braves.
A turnover for Wichita State will give it back to the Lady Braves. 12-9 Alcorn State in the early going here in the first.
Ashley Flowers, your Supernatural podcast was the only thing that kept me entertained this year. Well, besides my own investigation. I will find out who's been stealing my snacks. I'm so close.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clear skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
Shall I put her in snow mode?
Nope.
What about off-road mode? Sport mode it is. Let's see what this baby can do.
Or we could check out that farmer's market.
You know what? I'll be in chill mode if anyone needs me.
ProPilot Assist with NaviLink. Available on the all-new Nissan Rogue.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. We started with America's most reliable network, added 5G nationwide for millions of Americans, and the unprecedented performance of ultra-wideband in more and more places where people need massive capacity and ultra-low lag. I'm proud ultra-wideband was named the fastest 5G in the world, but I'm even more proud all that work is going to make a real difference for you. This is the 5G America's been waiting for, only from Verizon.
You've heard it before. It's the little things. But this year, a little goes a long way.
No way!
You might be a little less about the parties. And a little more about the people.
I got you again.
What do you have for me?
Little gestures. Little moments. Little ways to show your appreciation.
Come here, honey.
So keep sharing the love, little by little.
We told you that Nathaniel Kilbert was no stranger to the SWAC and Alcorn State in particular. He was an assistant from the early 90s to 2001 here, then took over as the head coach at his alma mater, Mississippi Valley State, for a dozen seasons. Then went on to Arkansas Pine Bluff from 2012 to 2019. He's a two-time SWAC Coach of the Year. And all he did at Arkansas Pine Bluff was become the winningest coach in their program's history. So he's kind of back home as of sorts, Tracy. He went to school at Mississippi Valley State and was a basketball player there, but he spent a lot of time on the bench already at Alcorn State, and now it's his program.
Yeah, and you have to appreciate that. Someone who finds value in his conference. It's not a Power 5 conference, but he's obviously very comfortable there. And recruiting-wise, has a lot of Mississippi kids on his roster, so he's going to do a good job there.
Aisha Kirkland had her shot blocked out of bounds. Now it's late in the shot clock for the Lady Braves, off to an otherwise good offensive start. And do they realize the shot clock is winding down? The shot actually did hit the rim, and the dead ball rebound will go to Wichita State. So there's a good defensive possession for Wichita State that, frankly, they've had few and far between in the first 7 minutes.
Yeah, they came out there in a man-to-man, so maybe Coach Adams is trying to change things up and get her team a little more energized on the defensive end.
That's a good point. I mean, it's one thing to play a zone to try to protect your players, but sometimes you get lulled into.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they were a little bit sluggish as far as finding people to rebound. There's the newcomer, Wichita State's debut by Rachel Johnson. She did not play in the opener. Had some foot issues that she was coming back from, so she's back now, replacing, in essence, Mariah McCulley, who had 12 points on Friday but rolled her ankle late in that game. She's had that ankle checked out, and her availability going forward is in some doubt. So an already thin Wichita State team, basically net zero. McCulley out, Rachel Johnson in. Baston runs down the long bomb, and she's going to be called for an offensive foul. It's a tough call right there. Baston was waiting for help, but a good job, it looked like, by Kayla Abello to draw the offensive foul.
And a great job of selling it, too, but smart play on her part. It'll be interesting how Johnson does, because I know Coach Adams very excited about her. She can score, average 13 points her sophomore year at Chipola Junior College, so hopefully she can help with the absence of McCauley.
Lady Braves have cooled off just a little bit from the floor. They're now 5 out of 13. 2 of the baskets have been triples. A back cut is stolen by the pass on the back cut, stolen by Trajada Colbert. Johnson wants to run. Baston mid-range jumper wouldn't go. And nobody on the weak side except for DJ McCarty. So Wichita State gets a rare offensive rebound. Johnson slashes to the basket, draws a foul, and it looks like we'll have our first free throws here in the first quarter. That's only the second foul on the Lady Braves, but it's in the act of shooting, and there's the aggressiveness that Rachel Johnson came off the bench with for Wichita State there.
Yeah, she did a great job of slicing through that zone and great step through.
Shamariah Duncan checks in for Wichita State. So to the line to shoot to Rachel Johnson, originally from Alabama. And the first free throw rolls out. Wichita State got off to a really good start from the line Friday afternoon, made 10 of their first 12, and then only made 2 of their next 10 to settle for 14 for 22 overall. And there's Rachel Johnson's first point as a Shocker. It cuts the lead to 2, about 2 minutes left to go in the quarter.
And Shockers are back in the zone. But Alcorn does a good job of really spreading the floor. And again, long rebound. The guards need to do a better job for WSU of taking out those long rebounds out to the top of the key.
Quintacia Leatherwood in there for the first time, number 5 in purple, and yet another offensive rebound. And this trip down the floor, a straightaway 3 off the heel, no good, and saved in the corner. A defensive rebound secured by Wichita State. So the Shockers have a chance to tie or take the lead, and that's going to be another offensive foul. This time, Rachel Johnson with 1 dribble too many. Tracy.
Yeah. Little indecisive there. She needed to pull up. Really didn't have numbers. Needed to kick it out first.
So the final 90 seconds of the quarter. Alcorn State, after losing 99-65 to Southeast Louisiana, has been pretty much in control here in the first 10 minutes of the game. Knifing into the mid lane and dumping it in is Curtis Clark. Clark had a 12-point game in the opener. She averaged 9 a game last year. She's only 5'8", but she found herself right in the middle of that zone.
Yeah, she did a great job. They spread the WSU zone, and she just knifed right through the middle of the zone when the center needed to pick that up, but she didn't.
Answer by Shamariah Duncan. I don't know that we necessarily saw her best on Friday. She only played 8 minutes, so she didn't exactly get into the flow of the game, but she injects herself into the offense there.
Well, and Coach Adams really likes her shooting ability, so that was impressive that she was able to put it on the floor because she's really more known for her shooting ability.
Set shot 3, right side. That's good. Diamond Hall, her first triple. There's 3 in the quarter for a team that only made 2 all game. Good look underneath, and Trajada Colbert hits. Now it's just basically back and forth. Both teams probably looking for a little defense after that's all we had in the first 4 minutes.
Yes, and Coach Adams prides herself on her defense, so this is probably a little hard for her to swallow right now.
Shot clock off, and a buzzer-beating leaner is no good. An entertaining last half of the first quarter as Alcorn State leads by 3.
Shall I put her in snow mode?
Nope.
What about off-road mode?
Nah.
Sport mode it is. Let's see what this baby can do.
Or we could check out that farmer's market.
You know what? I'll be in chill mode if anyone needs me.
ProPilot Assist with NaviLink. Available on the all-new Nissan Rogue.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats differently. For psoriasis, 75% clearer skin is achievable with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. For psoriatic arthritis, Otezla is proven to reduce joint swelling, tenderness, and pain. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
Torn on who to choose for your Madden team? The spokes player got you. Introducing CD Lamb. He's all business all the time.
As you can see here, business is booming.
Translation, his numbers are off the charts.
Verizon 5G is here. With the coverage of 5G nationwide and the unprecedented performance of ultra-wideband in more and more places where people need massive capacity and ultra-low lag. This is the 5G America's been waiting for, only from Verizon.
You've heard it before. It's the little things. But this year, a little goes a long way.
No way!
You might be a little less about the parties. And a little more about the people.
I got you a little gift.
What do you have for me?
Little gestures. Little moments. Little ways to show your appreciation.
Come here, honey.
So keep sharing the love, little by little.
Both these head coaches relatively new at their respective universities. I told you about Nathaniel Kilbert in his first year as the actual head coach at Alcorn State. Keitha Adams in her fourth year here at Wichita State. Both have been around the block. This is Keitha's 19th year, and this is Kilbert's 20th. But Keitha inching toward 500 here now, her fourth year at WSU.
And everywhere she's been, she's won. That's what's fantastic about her is she started at Independence, coached against her when she was at Independence, and they won. And the young ladies on her bench was a big reason. Her assistant coach, Ava Laskowska, was a great player in her own right.
There's 3 offensive fouls for Wichita State. This time, Anae Adams took her turn. So Baston, Johnson, and Adams all have a player control foul. And 17 seconds into the quarter. Good position and
yeah.
Acting job or not,
yeah.
That's there was probably enough contact there to justify the call. Aja Wheeler checks into the game for Alcorn State, and
we're going to get one
back
right
we
back.
go.
Yep.
Of course, you know how that goes as a former coach. Sometimes those come in bunches.
Yes. The Shockers need to be a little bit patient. They seem a little rushed offensively, trying to score quickly instead of getting the ball side to side. That's one thing she talked about is she really wanted them to move the ball more, and they haven't done that. It's kind of getting stuck on one side of the floor.
Now this is something that Alcorn State is doing tonight that we thought maybe Texas A&M Corpus Christi would do Friday afternoon, and that's pick up full court and try to speed Wichita State up like you alluded to, Tracy, but also to wear them out a little bit. There's only 7 healthy bodies out there now.
Right.
Turnover.
It's wearing on you. Even if they don't turn the ball over early, going against the press full game with only 7 healthy bodies now, if Strong doesn't come back, is really demanding on players.
Kind of a wild runner by Aisha Kirkland wouldn't go. Wichita State back in a hurry down the other way. That's going to be a foul near the sideline as Rachel Johnson was pushing the issue. That's the Lady Braves' second foul of the quarter. Just a little over a minute in. Shockers trailing by 3, trying to get to 2-0. Alcorn State, as we mentioned, in the midst of a road trip, trying to get their first victory here this evening.
We'll see if the Shockers can settle down a little bit. They have 6 turnovers already, which they only had 11 for the entire last game, so they need to do a better job.
And Bremaud kind of telegraphed the pass, and a good job getting around Anae Adams to deflect the ball, and we're going to have a kick ball here on this end. So says Blanca Burns. So Alcorn State, all things considered so far, Tracy, I know it's only been 11 and a half minutes, but they've kind of wrestled control of this game.
Yes, they have. They've been the aggressor. They've been aggressive on the boards. They've been aggressive on the defensive end, and right now they're the better ball club right now.
Kayla Abello got a little bit of a break. She's back in there now handling it. Again, she had 18 in the loss against Southeast Louisiana. 3 rolls in from the right wing by Diamond Hall. Diamond Hall averaged 6.4 points a game last year. She has 6 already and normally does most of her work down on the block. She's got 3 career double-doubles, but she's doing her best Steph Curry right now, hitting a couple threes. That's 4 made threes already for Alcorn State.
Yeah, McCarty kind of got caught with their hands down. Hands down, man down, and needed to at least contest that shot. Alcorn does a nice job of rotating. Good entry pass by Duncan there.
Colbert with the putback. She's got 4 off the bench. She had 3 and a couple of rebounds against A&M Corpus Christi. Shockers within 4. Alcorn's most recent 6-point lead was its largest so far here in the early going. There's another 3, and that's again hoisted up by Diamond Hall. Wouldn't go. And now Wichita State see if they can take advantage of a loose ball foul, and that's now 4 fouls on Alcorn State. So the next foul on Wichita State will be shooting foul shots.
So kind of a soft man initially on the press. We'll see how the Shockers, and again, it's not so much to turn him over, but to wear him down and to shoot quickly. That's the other thing presses do. Another offensive foul.
Well, that's at least 4, and that's going to be whistled against Duncan. That's 2 in the quarter for Wichita State, and it's going to have to be something to keep an eye on until Wichita State gets double-figure healthy bodies. Every game that they play, you got to keep your eye on the foul column, and that's the case again here tonight.
Yeah, and what that does is sometimes it gets kids to start playing a little tentatively, and unfortunately they play more attentively on the defensive end than the offensive end, even though most of the calls have been on offensive fouls.
Wichita State will get the benefit of that call. It was a loose ball over near the corner, and it was deemed to be last touch by a Lady Braves. So Wichita State, for as kind of stop and start as they've been here in the first half, only trail it by 4, but they've only led 1 time in the first 13 minutes of this one. Still trying to find some traction offensively, but Alcorn State doing a really good job on the boards and holding their ground, drawing at least 4 offensive fouls. Colbert's left-handed shot just a little short, fell off the rim, and the rebound pulled down by Diamond Hall. I mentioned the owner of 3 career double-doubles in her time at Alcorn State.
Again, I think WSU is just playing a little fast on the offensive end, looking to score very quickly.
Good anticipation and a steal by Johnson. She's going to go coast to coast and lay it in.
And they needed that.
If you're not going to get runouts or free throws, it could be a grind.
Yes,
and
yes.
Every fast break point that you get, both teams really.
Because Alcorn State they're okay bringing the ball up, walking the ball up, and using some time on the clock until they get the best shot.
Last touch by a Shocker, and now after an initial pretty good job of handling the ball by the Lady Braves, their turnover total is kind of creeped up there. They're now with 7 giveaways to Wichita State's 8. And again, neither team really had an issue with it in their respective first games. Turnover total was pretty low for both. In case you joined us late, Asia Strong, one of the Shockers' best newcomers, went out early with apparent injury to the face. And a buzzer-beating runner wouldn't go. Boy, that did everything but go down. Tough shooting luck that time by Abello. And that's going to be a travel. Boy, you have hit it right on the head, Tracy. When they haven't turned it over by offensive fouls, they've turned it over by just going too fast.
Yeah, they're just forcing the issue instead of seeing what the defense is giving them. They're just trying to force everything in the paint and they're settling for really quick shots.
Well, Wichita State defensively is kind of settled in, though, because the Lady Braves have gone just about 3 minutes exactly without scoring, and their field goal shooting has dropped to 36.4. So the initial defense for Wichita State has been good over the last 3 minutes. We're going to have a foul on the drive to the basket. I suppose that's another thing, Tracy, that we thought that Wichita State needed to do a good job of and have so far, and that's keep those drivers out of the paint up until right there.
Yes, so they were doing a good job of that early. They just were giving up offensive boards, and so that was a tough call. Nice crossover.
Kaylin Watkins will go to the free throw line. She's a true freshman. She had 2 points in the loss against Southeast Louisiana. Watkins, a native of Inglewood, California. Lady Braves were 15 of 22 from the free throw line in their opening game. And that is the first trip to the line so far tonight. And Watkins splits a pair. The lead is 3. Wichita State has led only once. Alcorn State has led by as many as 6. Johnson, a corner 3, wouldn't go. And a good job to tap it basically to herself. Anae Adams, she did a good job of that on Friday. Bremaw for 3. She had 5. That was a career best, and that's her first from distance tonight.
And I'll give that, a tribute to Adams, because again, very quick off the floor, came from the weak side rebound all the way to tip that to herself and grab the offensive board.
So we're knotted up now, midway through the second. A 3 on the way, short. Anae Adams saves it, and Bremaw comes away with it. 2-on-2, Baston. And a whistle and a foul, and we'll have a couple of free throws for DJ McCarty on the other side. So Wichita State has knotted up the Lady Braves at 21 here in the second.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clear skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
This is Theragun by Therabody, the percussive therapy device that has been the secret of professional trainers, weekend warriors, and all-star athletes looking to get to their next level. Visit Theragun.com. Change the way you move.
Verizon 5G is here with the coverage of 5G nationwide and the unprecedented performance of ultra-wideband in more and more places where people need massive capacity and ultra-low lag. This is the 5G America's been waiting for, only from Verizon.
You've heard it before. It's the little things. But this year, a little goes a long way.
No way!
You might be a little less about the parties. And a little more about the people.
I got you again.
What do you have for me?
Little gestures. Little moments. Little ways to show your appreciation.
Come here, honey.
So keep sharing the love, little by little.
Alicia can't choose between pizza or wings for the game. This isn't a midterm. We say D, all of the above. Like new pizza wings at B-Dubs. The flavor of pizza on a wing. Mark these D for delicious. Pizza Wings, one of 4 new sauces at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wild Card Weekend.
Touchdown! Energy, baby! I can't believe it!
Absolute chaos.
This is happening. There is a postseason.
Stop.
They're going to have some difficult choices to make.
Well, for a team that's picked to finish 9th in the 10-team SWAC, Alcorn State has kind of weathered the storm here in the first quarter and a half against Wichita State, Tracy, clinging to, well, now a tie in which Wichita State may take the lead here, but they've had a little swoon offensively. They've missed 4 of the last 5 shots here in the quarter.
Yeah, but they started off doing the things that they could do: offensive rebounding, turning WSU over. So that's what got them the lead to start with.
First free throw is up and good for DJ McCarty. She had 9 on Friday. That's her first point here tonight. And you would think with Mariah McCulley out and now Asia Strong out, that there are some points to be had for some Shockers, and she would be one of them, probably.
Yes, absolutely. But it's got to be within the system and within the play, not try to force some things, which is often what young kids do. And she's only a sophomore, so she's got some growing pains, but hopefully that will untrack her a little bit.
Boy, and they've had the Lady Braves have had a tremendous start here in the first half from distance. They were only 2 of 13 all game from three-point range. And right now they are 5 for 15. They'll certainly take that. And nobody home underneath to challenge Janae Adams at the basket. A nice assist by Serafini Baston, who had 6 on Friday.
Yeah, Adams set a great ball screen and rolled really quick to the basket, and Alcorn State did not do a good job of reading that screen and talking.
So Bello has 2 threes. Diamond Hall has a pair of triples. And McAfee has the other one. That's 5 out of 15, and they misfire, and Anae Adams with the rebound. And we got a tie ball, or we got a foul here. Alternating possession. So it will stay on this end with 20 to shoot for the Lady Braves. Well, the Lady Braves got the first 6 rebounds of the game, and since then, Wichita State is +5, so they have chipped into that rebounding deficit. But you bring up a point about it's hard to box out when you're in a zone defense, but also when you only have 8 healthy bodies, how are you going to practice against 5 other people to box them all out?
Yes, that's very true. So you have to get creative in practice situations on, rotating and using bodies, a lot of 3-on-3.
Yeah.
But it's different. It's different going 3-on-3 than it is 5-on-5.
Open shot for McAfee wouldn't go down for the Lady Braves. Shockers hurry into forecourt. And now DJ McCarty will hold it out, and she'll send Baston over to the wing instead of running the point. Well, hesitation draws a double team, but quickly Lady Braves recover. 7 to shoot. Shockers have got to go now. Step back long shot. That was a low percentage shot, but that's about all that DJ McCarty could do. She had to just try to get one away at the end of the shot clock, and that's a turnover.
Alcorn State did a nice job of keeping their kid in front and really forcing WSU was pretty stagnant offensively. Moved the ball a little bit, but no screens, no cuts. They need to find themselves some rhythm. And that's a good sight right there.
Yeah, good news for Wichita State. Asia Strong is back after missing a good chunk here of the first half due to some injury issues, and she is back in there now. So Wichita State has dropped back into that zone. We are all square with 2:50 left to go in the first half. Tajane Wright back in there for the Lady Braves. One of the many bench players for Alcorn State in this one. Again, the Shockers only with 8 healthy bodies. A near travel by McAfee puts up a runner late in their shot clock, and that'll go the other way. So each team, and there you see Asia Strong, look like she's got a little war wound to show off just below the lower lip there. Took a stray elbow, it would appear, in the first quarter that, again, knocked her out for a little bit, but her coming back is big for Wichita State.
Yeah, they need to go at her and establish her in the paint. She's a tough matchup.
I was just getting ready to say, Keitha Adams, I know, has wanted a stretch type 4 for quite a while, and she's it. So she will probably get a good long look, not only in this game, but in future games as well as an offensive focal point.
Yes, and Strong was being heavily recruited. Texas A&M out of, the SEC wanted her, and so it came down between those two schools.
Putback wouldn't go. Now Wichita State flexing its muscles on the offensive glass, but 2 players hit the deck, so numbers for Alcorn State. Corner 3 short. Wichita State dodged the bullet.
Nice job by Carla Bremaw there to force a kick out and not give up an easy layup.
Shockers got a couple looks from inside the paint last time down. And a 3 from the right side by Rachel Johnson. So Wichita State has its biggest lead of the half at a grand total of 3. They only led one other time by a bucket. That's 3 threes for Wichita State. They're 3 out of 7 after connecting on 42% of their threes. Very respectable number against A&M Corpus Christi opening night.
We'll have to see if they can string together a couple of defensive stops.
There's one.
Yep.
Steal by McCarty. on an almost impossible bounce pass, and 2 players hit the deck, and a timeout is going to be called by Nathaniel Kilbert. Probably a decent idea. It looked like Baston and was that Obello both took a spill. Yeah, and I think it was because there you see the good display of sportsmanship on both to make sure both are okay. That was kind of a low percentage pass to start with, Tracy, and it probably ended up as it should.
Right. She needed to take another dribble and go as deep as the defender would take her, and she, you have a small defender. If anything, maybe put the ball up. That would have been a tough catch even if Seraphine had caught it.
And I think that was probably a good call because Baston kind of tripped, and then lunging was Abello to try to get to the ball, and she took a stray heel to the back of the head that kind of banged her face against the floor. So that's why Seraphine Baston was checking on Kayla Abello to make sure that she was okay. So with 1:21 left, the Lady Braves, again, facing their biggest deficit of the half, which is credit to Alcorn State. They barely trailed. Only a little over 2 minutes has Wichita State led in this entire first half. And neither team, and we can talk about this a little more at halftime, you talk about Wichita State hoping to string together some defensive possessions. Offense for both teams consistently has been really hard to come by. It's been kind of stagnant for both sides.
It has. And I don't know if it's so much as great defensive performance as much as it's a little impatience on both ends of the floor.
So a turnover for the Lady Braves with exactly a minute left. And that is now at least 9 turnovers in the half by the Lady Braves. The Shockers have 10. That hasn't exactly helped with the flow of the offense either, turnovers. Strong in the high post. Wouldn't go. She did everything but knock it down, and 2 Shockers crash over the top of 1 Lady Brave for a loose ball foul. Good post move by Asia Strong, but just wasn't able to finish.
Now, those kind of fouls as a coach you're not disappointed in because they went for the offensive boards.
Had a foul to give. I don't know if that was in the back of any Shockers' mind there, but out goes Johnson and in comes DJ McCarty after a quick blow. Johnson was the guilty party. That's her second foul. So part of the reason why she exits. 2 fouls on Johnson, 2 fouls on Duncan, and a pair of Lady Braves have 2 fouls apiece, although Alcorn State quite a bit deeper, a lot more healthy bodies to play with. 15-second differential shot in game, and that is pretty much the story of the first half for Alcorn State. Curtis Clark hits her first 3. That's 6 from long range, and that is the story offensively for Alcorn State. Something I'm sure Wichita State didn't think it would have to worry about.
But they've done a good job of moving the ball and hitting wide open. That was a wide open 3, and in rhythm, it can really improve your percentage.
Strong had to hurry to try to beat the game clock. She hit the runner, got fouled. Deja Mitchell picks up the personal. And Asia Strong, after an early bucket, exited due to an injury, comes back and has an opportunity for a 3-point play to put Wichita State back up by 3 again. She's got 4 going on 5 here from the line.
I don't think Alcorn State can handle her one-on-one. They're going to have to bring some backside help.
Free throw short with 3, with 2, with 1, and that'll do it. So kind of a disjointed first half offensively. Wichita State scored 78 points against Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the opener. Alcorn State gave up 99. So quite a difference in fortune for really both clubs. Alcorn State's got to be thrilled with their defense. One of the keys we thought for the game would be for them to clamp down defensively, and they did just that.
Yeah, and it by a change of pace, it was more of they sped WSU up and made WSU very impatient offensively, and I think that's attributed to WSU's offensive woes. Not getting great shots and forcing so a lot of those turnovers were forced. They were just trying to force the pace a little bit too much.
We will have some more thoughts, some numbers, some comments, some keys, and all that good stuff at the halftime show as Wichita State clinging to a 2-point lead here on ESPN+.
Are you ready for playoff hopefuls on Monday night? Can the 49ers keep their wild card dreams alive? Are the Bills ready to close in on a division title? Monday Night Football on ESPN and ABC.
Kurt, do you have a favorite football team growing up?
I started to watch this guy, Tom Brady.
All right, that'll do it. Cut it short. All right? I mean, you think I'd forget something? I'm ready to go.
Yes, you did forget something.
I did not get my popcorn ready.
It's target practice.
Yes!
Here we go.
Beast mode is alive and well.
Hi, Peyton.
Mr. President.
This year is not normal.
We have no idea what's going to happen.
2020 has been about overcoming adversity.
Absolute chaos.
This is happening. There is a postseason.
Stop.
It is a week-to-week thing. What are you most interested in seeing?
It is going to be the eye test. The eye test.
There's a great deal of anticipation. They're going to have some difficult choices to make.
One app, one tap, that's that. One swipe, one slide, sing it back. One app running with elite QBs. Russell got the cannon throwing clutch TDs. Lillard crossing over, step behind the line. Ain't no need to watch the clock, cause you know it's Dame time, yeah.
You know what?
One app with the 30 for 30s. 2-finger push-ups, Bruce Lee showing no mercy. Fat Five got the crew on deck. Best believe Bo knows OG do great, yeah. One app lets you follow any team, any league, any player. You control the whole scene. Plugged in, got the stories on scroll. Shut the dish and not the news like it's food for the soul, yeah. One app, Van Pelt with the facts. One big thing, dropping knowledge in your laps. Always on the post, yeah, we got it going on. Listen up and take cover, here comes a Woj bomb. One app, college game day attire. Coach O on the sideline screaming, go Tigers. Throw down with Nunes, got that knockout right. There's only one champ at the end of the fight.
She's the GOAT.
No one else goes deeper, that's a fact. One slide, one tap, it's the ESPN app.
It's a fact.
One app, one tap, that's that. One swipe, one slide, sing it back. Always on the post, yeah, we got it going on. Listen up and take cover, here comes a Woj bomb. No one else goes deeper, that's a fact. One slide, one tap, it's the ESPN app.
Wichita State trying to get to 2-0 on its current 5-game homestand. Alcorn State was kind of pesky in that first half. Shane Dennis, Tracy Anderson back with you. Well, you're a former coach. Who's happiest right now?
Oh, definitely Alcorn State's coach, Coach Kilbert. His kids have done what they've needed to do. They've rebounded the ball very well. They've turned the Shockers over, and they've sped the Shockers up. So I think he's got to feel great to be only down 2, because I think the Shockers have a lot more scoring power, but they haven't proven that tonight.
And neither team, as you kind of touched on this, we didn't have a chance to really dive into it, but neither team really put anything together offensively. The longest run for Wichita State was 5-0, and Alcorn's longest run was 4-0. What's got to change?
Well, for first of all, the Shockers need to be patient. They had 8 assists on 15 makes, So they can get about any shot they want. I thought early on they were so impatient that they were doing a lot of dribble driving, one-on-one moves instead of exploiting where I think they can really exploit that Lady Brave defense, and that's with their forwards and in the paint. But they tried to force the issue and didn't shift the ball. Your one-on-one drives, those lanes will be open if you can get the ball reversed and have that defense close out. And that also prevents some of your offensive charges that the Shockers had.
They had at least 4 of those.
Yes.
So Alcorn State, as you mentioned, Nathaniel Kilbert's got to be pretty pleased defensively with the way they've handled Wichita State's offense. Everybody that's played has scored for Wichita State, but obviously with only 8 players, you need everybody, and they have gotten a pretty good effort offensively, at least grinding it out a little bit in the first half. We've got another half to play as we'll take a look at our first half highlights. Nobody scored more than 6 individually. One of the Shocker newcomers, though, is one of those players with 6, and that's Rachel Johnson, as she made a 2-point basket, a 3, and a free throw.
And she's been very aggressive, so you can tell that she's been itching to be out on the floor since she hasn't been able to play till now. But I think she also needs to be a little bit more patient, not force the shots and not force the rhythm, and it will come. I just don't think Alcorn State can match up with them physically with their dribble drives and their post play, but the Shockers need to be patient in getting that situated.
Early on in the first quarter, in case you joined us a little late, Alcorn State did all the rebounding, and they made 5 of those right there, 3-pointers. Yes. Now, if you're defending against Alcorn State, which normally doesn't make a lot of threes, what do? Dare them to keep making them or tighten it up a little bit?
Well, and that's a lot of this. That's a psychic in a player's head. I know that they're not a great 3-point shooter, but you hit a couple, then you got to adjust because kids can get in a flow. And several of those were made off of offensive rebounds, and it's so difficult to defend 3-point shots against man or zone if it's off an offensive rebound. So they need to do a better job. They got beat on the boards 18-17 and got out-rebounded on offensive boards. And I think Coach Adams is really going to address that at halftime.
Well, we'll get to the numbers and have a recap, and maybe Tracy will have some keys to the second half for both teams when we come back, as Wichita State leading by 2 at the break.
Ooh, Teenage Dream.
Cool.
Sicko Mode was the best song of the decade.
Okay. Edge of Glory. Have that one.
7 Rings.
Stay with me.
Boy with Love. Addict.
Despacito.
Hold up. I got it.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clear skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
This is Theragun by Therabody, the percussive therapy device that has been the secret of professional trainers, weekend warriors, and all-star athletes looking to get to their next level. Visit Theragun.com. Change the way you move.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. We started with America's most reliable network, added 5G nationwide for millions of Americans, and the unprecedented performance of ultra-wideband in more and more places where people need massive capacity and ultra-low lag. I'm proud ultra-wideband was named the fastest 5G in the world, but I'm even more proud all that work is going to make a real difference for you. This is the 5G America's been waiting for, only from Verizon.
This year, a little goes a long way. You might be a little less about the parties and a little more about the people. finding little ways to show your appreciation.
Come here, honey.
So keep sharing the love, little by little.
Joseph asks why it took B-Dubs so long to add lemon pepper sauce. Ever grow a lemon tree, Joseph? Ever blended spices? Do you even know where peppercorns come from? Trick question! Nobody does! Buttery, savory lemon pepper, one of 4 new sauces at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Kurt, do you have a favorite football team growing up?
I started to watch this guy, Tom Brady.
All right, that'll do it. Cut it short. All right? I mean, you think I'd forget something? I'm ready to go.
Yes, you did forget something.
I did not get my popcorn ready.
It's target practice.
Yes!
Here we go.
Beast mode is alive and well.
Hi, Peyton.
Mr. President.
The journey happens here.
Welcome to the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
An early season Power 5 conference test.
College basketball is here. It's time to go to work.
Well, after 20 minutes, it's a far cry from 3 years ago when Wichita State beat Alcorn State in this building by 41. I have a feeling that won't happen again here tonight. Shane Dennis and Tracy Anderson with you from the Roundhouse. Shockers and Lady Braves with a back and forth first half. The first half stats will probably bear that out. Shockers shot a little bit better percentage. The difference to me, Tracy, was the three-point shooting. There you see it. Alcorn State with just 2 makes all last game in their opener against Southeast Louisiana. That's kind of normal for Wichita State, 3 for 7. They don't shoot a lot. They'll make a handful, but for the most part, the three-point shooting is probably something that's stunned Wichita State.
Yeah, and as a coach, you try to defend against your strengths, and their strengths haven't been in the past being a three-point shooting team. So I don't think Coach Adams is that dismayed about that number. I mean, the fact that they shot 18 is a lot, even though they were in a zone. So they need to do a better job of getting their hands out in the passing lanes and not letting quick reversals.
The rebounds evened out, as you see there on the graphic. Wichita State fell way behind in that category and picked it up over the last quarter and a half or so. Pretty much everything else is a dead heat. Offensive rebounds, second chance points, fast break points. Shockers had the only 2. The steals are even. The assists are within 1. So looking forward to the second half. And individually, we should mention nobody has more than 6 points for either team. All 8 Shockers that have played have scored 8. Lady Braves have scored, again, 6 being the cap. So in a offensive starved type of game, is it trips to the line, because we haven't seen very many of those, fast breaks, run-outs? I know the Shockers tried to run a little bit, but credit Alcorn State for not only getting back but drawing some offensive fouls, which may take a little starch out of the fast break for Wichita State.
Right, and it's hard to run if you're not rebounding first, because you're concerned about getting an offensive board. I thought that the Shockers did not do a very good job of their top players rebounding out of that. There were several on the top of the key that were offensive boards. So they have the ability to run out of that zone defense, but they've got to block out first. But like you said, Alcorn State did a nice job of transitioning defensively, and I thought Obella was key. I thought she did a really nice job on Baston. She matched up with her, and she defensively was everywhere she needed to be and moved the ball on offense against that WSU zone.
Kayla Bello right there, averaged 6 a game last year, had 18 in the opener. She and Curtis Clark combined for 30 points in their loss against Southeast Louisiana. So Wichita State with Rachel Johnson with 6 points. Seraphine Baston had 5. 3 other players had 4. Conversely, for Alcorn State, Diamond Hall with 6, Kayla Abillo with 6, all on 3-pointers. Those 2 combined to shoot 4 for 8 from 3. Clark had 5, Wright had 4. That was pretty much it. So it was offensive challenge, both teams here in the first 20 minutes. And it looks like the arrow will go to Wichita State to begin half number 2. Again, the game was tied for a little over 5 minutes. There were only 4 lead changes. And for nearly 12 minutes of the first half, Alcorn State had the lead, but Wichita State kind of inched back into it led most of the last couple of minutes, but never by more than 3. So your score would show this has been as close a game as you would think.
Yes.
Nobody really had any major comebacks or big scoring runs. In case you missed it, the biggest offensive run of the game was a 5-0 Wichita State run. That's unheard of for one half, really, for either team.
Right. And WSU, I think they've got to really limit the extra possessions that they've given Alcorn State. You know, limit the offensive rebounds and the unforced turnovers.
Bremaud to inbound, so it's Carla Bremaud, Strong, Baston, McCarty, and Anae Adams, the 5 on the floor for the gold-clad Shockers, leading by 2. If they score a basket here, it'll be their biggest lead of the game.
And already we see the Shockers being more patient. They've moved the ball side to side twice already.
And that time, Anae Adams dragged the pivot foot. She did a nice job of keeping it down until the very last instant and kind of picked it up at the last moment. So that'll be a turnover on the Shockers' first possession, and double-figure turnovers for Wichita State. That's now 12, and Alcorn State has immediately tied it up. Deja Mitchell, her second basket. She's got 4.
Shockers came out and extended a little bit of pressure against that zone, tried to run a trap, but the Lady Braves did a nice job of hitting an open player for an easy bucket.
Alcorn in a man-to-man to start the second half. Anae Adams, her second consecutive turnover, and here come the Lady Braves back, try to retake the lead a minute into the third. Shockers look like they got a 1-3-1 here, Coach, some kind of a zone look.
Well, it's kind of an amoeba 2-3, but they're trapping out of it, so they're extending those bottom players. Nice job by Bremaud to cause that turnover.
Adams with the steal, but left it on the front iron, so kind of a inauspicious beginning of the third quarter for Wichita State. A couple of turnovers and a missed opportunity at one of those fast break points we talked about at the halftime.
They had a 3-on-1, and all players were kind of bunched together. They didn't do a very good job of spacing the floor.
Well, great heads that time by McCarty. Almost forced a turnover, 8 to shoot. And a wild three-pointer is off the heel, no good. That's now 6 for 19 for the Lady Braves from 3. Strong going to work on the post, draws some contact, no foul, rebound Baston. Strong's second opportunity, that won't go. Boy, look at Seraphine Baston.
Yep.
Keep it alive. For those that don't know, she's only 5'8", but she is great at rebounding, and Bremaud looks like has an opportunity at a 4-point play. Wichita State has Seraphine Baston to thank for that possession.
And that's just heart right there. She came flying in from the wing, you know, to keep the ball tipped out to herself, and opportunity for a 4-point play.
So Bremaud has now 7 baskets this year. None have been inside the 3-point line. She was, 5 for 8?
Yep.
Yeah, she was 5 for 8 in the opener on Friday. She's a good foul shooter. She just doesn't go there very often, and that's a 4-point play for Carla Bremaud. She now has 6 points in the game, or 7 rather.
She just is shooting the ball with such confidence this year compared to last year, so that's great for the Shockers.
And a steal by Baston. Kind of a lazy pass that time by Mitchell. Baston picked her pocket, and Baston that time, after being victimized by an offensive foul in the first half, beat, it looked like McAfee to the spot, or maybe she was in the restricted area, but call went to Wichita State regardless. Now she was out of the restricted area, just didn't get the call.
That was a great play by Seraphine, because the defender was set, and she did a nice job of changing directions, kind of a Euro step, but she's just so darn strong and quick north to south. That's a tough defensive play for any player to cut her off.
So Baston splits a pair, 5-point Shocker lead, and it looks like Wichita State's trying to turn up the intensity on their defensive end. A lot of active bodies compared to the first half.
Great box out.
Defensive rebound by Duncan, who was kind of saddled with some early foul trouble. She had 2 in the first half. Good hustle by Curtis Clark, nearly came up with a steal. Tapped that one away from a waiting Shocker in the corner.
That was a good decision by McCarty. I know that she didn't make the pass, but she didn't force the shot in the paint. She was looking for an open player.
And Strong with an elbow jumper. She's got 3 field goals, 6 points. And Wichita State suddenly, I don't want to say in command, but in this game, 7-point lead is pretty much that. That is a 227 scoring drought for Alcorn State and a 7-0 Shocker run, the longest of the game. And that's promptly snapped by Deja Mitchell. She's had a nice game. She's got 6 points after having just 3 against Southeast Louisiana.
Yeah, the Lady Braves have done a good job against that kind of extended trapping zone to hit an open middle player and got a fortuitous bounce.
Boy, they're looking for Strong now. That's back-to-back baskets. Yeah. She has 8 between she and Carla Bremaud. A quick start offensively in the third quarter for Wichita State.
I just don't see any way that Mitchell can guard her one-on-one. They're going to have to bring some help with her because she's just too tough, has too many offensive tools in her tool bag.
Hall for her 3rd triple. This one came up empty, and Wichita State will get the possession. Now Alcorn State 2 out of 6 from the field here in the first 4 minutes of the quarter.
See, and kind of on the other side of that, when you're fortuitous in the first half and you're shooting the 3 well, but that's really not your strong point, it causes you to maybe take those shots more often than you normally would just because you've hit a couple. And eventually the statistics always seem to even out.
Bremaud left a little short. Baston with another offensive rebound.
She should have been out in the 3-point line.
She should. I think she's 6 of 9 or something like that so far in the early going. Skip pass, McCarty. Baston with 2 to shoot. Left it short. It grazed the rim. Rebound though for Mitchell. And back come the Lady Braves, down 7, trying to chip into the Shocker lead.
That was a good offensive possession by the Shockers, even though they didn't make it count. They shifted the ball, they reversed the ball, got the defense shifted, and a good wide open shot.
There's a rainbow 3 from the right side that goes down. The lead is cut down to 4. That is triple number 7 from Alcorn State. Clark hits from distance. That's her 2nd. So 3 different Lady Braves have 2 threes, and Baston wreaking a little havoc in the lane. It seems like she's kind of found another gear here in the third quarter. Wichita State leads by 4 midway through the third.
This is Theragun by Therabody, the percussive therapy device that has been the secret of professional trainers, weekend warriors, and all-star athletes looking to get to their next level. Theragun's scientifically calibrated depth and force designed to keep you moving freer and living better. Professional-grade power that's felt, not heard. Whether you're making memories, making a deal, or making history, visit Theragun.com and change the way you move.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats differently. For psoriasis, 75% clearer skin is achievable with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. For psoriatic arthritis, Otezla is proven to reduce joint swelling, tenderness, and pain. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla. Show more of you.
Welcome to the Xfinity Black Friday sales event. Welcome to 15 days of saving on fast, reliable internet and mobile with nationwide 5G on the most reliable network. Plus, learn how to save up to $500 with Xfinity Internet and mobile. This sale won't last. Click, call, or visit a store today.
You've heard it before. It's the little things. But this year, a little goes a long way.
No way!
You might be a little less about the parties. And a little more about the people.
I got you, Logan.
What do you have for me?
Little gestures. Little moments. Little ways to show your appreciation.
Come here, honey.
So keep sharing the love, little by little.
Joseph asks why it took B-Dubs so long to add lemon pepper sauce. Ever grow a lemon tree, Joseph? Ever blended spices? Do you even know where peppercorns come from? Trick question! Nobody does! Buttery, savory lemon pepper, one of 4 new sauces at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Serafini Baston will go to the free throw line for Wichita State. She was just there. She split a pair. The Shockers are 2 of 3 in the quarter. All 3 fouls in the first 5 minutes have been against Alcorn State. So Wichita State inching toward the bonus. And Serafini Baston now with 8 points, make it 9. And the Shockers lead by 6. Shane Dennis, Tracy Anderson. Midway through the third quarter, Shockers trying to stay unbeaten. Alcorn State in the midst of a 4-game roadie, trying to even its record at 1-1. Checking into the game, Aisha Kirkland, 30 in purple. There she's got it at the top of the circle. The most recent foul win against Deja Mitchell, and Curtis Clark hits another 3. That's her 3rd. We were talking during the break that 7 for 21, if you're going to give up 33% from 3, that's, I suppose, a palatable number, but if they keep piling up the volume, then it might become a problem.
Right.
Asia Strong tries to counter and does. She's got 10 points. She's caught fire offensively.
Yes, and it's interesting because that particular possession, WSU was in a man-to-man, and they come out and hit a 3, and in the first half, WSU came out of a timeout and went into a man-to-man, and they hit a 3 against their man-to-man too, so they're back in their man-to-man again. So I think Coach Adams is trying to get something, change things up to get some defensive flow.
Late in the shot clock, kind of a wild shot, but an offensive rebound saves the possession. A line drive jumper by Kirkland. That's her first basket. Aisha Kirkland, one of the seniors on this team from Fresno, has brought Alcorn State back to within 3, and I doubt either coach would necessarily admit this as Bremaw throws in another 3, but it may be an offensive second half for as defensive as the first was. Bremaw has 10, including 3 more threes, so she's made 8 3-pointers in her first game and a half and comes up with a steal. Shockers by 6, looking for more. Bremaw finishes. Wichita State with the only fast break points in this one. That is now 5 technically for the Shockers, and that's their biggest lead.
And a great job by Bremaw for young players watching that. They had a 2-on-1 break, but she took the ball as deep as the defender would let her go, and it happened to be all the way in for a layup. Great decision on her part.
So the Shockers with an 8-point lead, working on 2.5 left, a double team, and somehow a pass got through, and Mitchell got fouled. That was a minor miracle that Obello was able to, well, she didn't split the double team. She just basically ran into it and connected with Mitchell, who will go to the free throw line. The Lady Braves are only 1 of 2 from the stripe, so Shockers are +5 from the free throw line. Mitchell with 6 points on 3 of 3 shooting. She's got 4 rebounds, and she rattles that one out. Mitchell, mentioned earlier in their opener against Southeast Louisiana, only had 3 points, and this is her career high. She's not asked to score much, but she's got 7 tonight to help Alcorn State stay at least a little bit close here in the third. Shockers are on fire offensively. They've hit 6 of their last 8, including their last 3 in a row. So they have found a little offensive rhythm here in the third quarter. 18 points already in the first 8 minutes. Bremaw for another 3, offline, no good. And a foul on the rebound. We'll see who gets ticketed with the personal. And it looks like we're going to stay on this end.
Good job by Strong keeping that ball out and tipping it. I think she created the foul on Mitchell.
Kirkland is going to check back in. And boy, that's a pretty good job by whoever's keeping the scoreboard. Very quickly had 4 in the foul column for Alcorn State. So the next foul will cost them at the free throw line, and a good up and under move by Trajada Colbert. She's got 6. And, again, the contributions keep coming for Wichita State, a short-handed team, already 2 in double figures, and Colbert and Johnson both have 6.
And I think they have a huge advantage in the paint at that forward and post position. I don't think Alcorn matches up very well with them, but WSU has to be patient enough to get that isolation and get those mismatches.
Speaking of
mismatches, yeah.
Abello at 5'2" against Strong at 6'2", and Baston bailed out Abello with 1 on the shot clock.
Just a little too aggressive in that help on that drive.
So an on-shooting foul will reset the shot clock for the Lady Braves to 20. Inbounding will be Diamond Hall. She had 6 first-half points. So Wichita State leading by 9. That's their largest of the game. Trailed for most of the first half, but a 20-point third quarters provided Wichita State, at least for now, with a little breathing room. Making 53.8% of their field goals, Wichita State, here in the quarter. And a rhythm 3 wouldn't go that time. Diamond Hall misfired after making 2 in the first half. She's missed 2 in the third quarter, and a block on the fast break. Rachel Johnson was rejected. Quickly up ahead, Abello. Kirkland left it short. Boy, that was a golden opportunity for the Lady Braves to get within 7.
It was a nice move, just didn't quite finish.
So Kirkland, with just 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting, had a golden opportunity there. High-low feed, Colbert kind of lost it going up, maybe felt like she got fouled, didn't get a call, and we're inside a minute here in the third quarter.
Yeah, she was a little under the basket, needed to maybe take a power dribble and get herself in a better position. The pace of this game has picked up dramatically here in the last 4 minutes of this quarter.
It seems to me like there haven't been very many whistles either.
No.
So conditioning may come into play here. Spinning move, partially blocked. Maybe Bremaw got a piece of Clark's shot.
Pass.
And a lay-in by Strong. Asia Strong, with 20 in her debut, has 12 more tonight, leading all scorers. Shockers lead by double digits.
And that's all Asia there. She saw the turnover and she sprinted ahead and created that easy opportunity for herself just by outworking the defense.
And what a job by the 6'2" Asia Strong to stay with the 5'2" Kayla Abello, and Wichita State, with a huge third quarter, leads by 11.
Shall I put her in snow mode?
Nope.
What about off-road mode?
Nah.
Sport mode it is. Let's see what this baby can do.
Or we could check out that farmer's market.
No.
You know what? I'll be in chill mode if anyone needs me.
ProPilot Assist with NaviLink. Available on the all-new Nissan Rogue.
This is Theragun by Therabody, the percussive therapy device that has been the secret of professional trainers, weekend warriors, and all-star athletes looking to get to their next level. Theragun's scientifically calibrated depth and force designed to keep you moving freer and living better. Professional-grade power that's felt, not heard. Whether you're making memories, making a deal, or making history, visit Theragun.com and change the way you move.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clearer skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
This year, a little goes a long way. You might be a little less about the parties and a little more about the people. Finding little ways to show your appreciation.
Come here, honey.
So keep sharing the love, little by little.
As a human ski lift, there's only one way to refuel. The DQ $6 meal deal. It's my choice of entree. A double with cheese or chicken strips, plus a refreshing Coke, fries, and sundae. All full-sized. Just like that hill.
DQ, happy tastes good.
Well, that offense in the first half, Tracy, that was not so free-flowing, showed up in the third quarter. Teams combined for 35 points, Wichita State with 22 of them, and the Shockers had their biggest lead.
Well, and part of it was they kind of turned up the defensive intensity and created a couple turnovers for some easy transition baskets. And then, of course, Asia Strong, just outran everybody on that last trip.
7 fast break points for Wichita State, 5 in the quarter. A back cut, good feed that time by Leatherwood. And the putback, no good. Alcorn State had a couple of tries. There's a player on the deck for the Lady Braves still down. Strong takes advantage of it, and Wichita State with a 13-point lead, but a Lady Brave down in the middle of the paint, right just near the free throw line. So Asia Strong was able to take advantage of, well, it wasn't exactly 5-on-4. They got out and ran anyway. Strong has 14 to back up her 20 from Friday afternoon. But a player down, and it looks like it's Curtis Clark, one of their better scorers, who has 11 points tonight, by the way. See if she took a straight arm. Yeah. So a shot to the face will earn a trip to the monitor pretty much every time. And Trajana Colbert's kind of errant left arm as she was going for the ball with her right arm looked like it got Clark in the face.
And, any contact to the above the shoulders, to the head or neck is an automatic. I mean, that wasn't intentional. She came from, was on the backside of Trajana, but we'll see what they deem. She took a shot.
At the very least, that's going to make her eyes water.
Yes.
And you would fear the worst, maybe a broken nose, but I don't think it necessarily went to that level. But Curtis Clark, after a brief time on the deck, gets up and looks like she's going to be okay. But we will have a stoppage. Take a look at the monitor, as Tracy said, if it's anything other than a play on, because no foul was called on the play either. Right in the middle of your screen, the 5'8" Curtis Clark trying to battle 6'2" Trajana Colbert for a loose ball.
And that's a tough call, because if you go by the letter of the law, any contact, with above the head or shoulders, I should say, by another opposing player should be considered. I think that's what they're talking over.
Flagrant one.
Yes, and it wasn't intentional by any means, but.
Could it be possible that Trajana Colbert will get bailed out because it wasn't her elbow?
I mean, I think so, but I'm not wearing the stripes.
Yeah,
and I very seldom agreed with the stripes when I coached.
Well, we're splitting hairs too, and we're not the ones that got a shot to the face. So
I think that's what they're going to call, because they're talking to Coach Adams. So. And it's a good rule. I mean, it's a good rule to put in place. So that you can protect the players. But something that was she couldn't even see the player behind her.
Right.
I don't think that should.
Yeah, something like that. There's no winner.
Right.
The defensive player took a shot to the face, and Trajana Colbert was just trying to do her job, unaware that somebody was behind her.
So it looks like that's what they're doing.
Yep. Diamond Hall is at the foul line all by herself. So it's an intentional foul on Trajana Colbert is the ruling. And so half a minute into the fourth quarter, we got our first bit of drama, I suppose. And to the line, Diamond Hall. after the intentional foul on Trajada Colbert. I didn't know that was a possibility.
I didn't either, to be quite honest. But I think the officials did a nice job. They got together. They all three, talked it out. And so I like that they did that and explained that. I thought they took away the intentional foul.
Well, 1 of 2, and Alcorn will keep possession. Hall now with 7 points. The lead is a Shocker dozen. Early stages, fourth quarter. Wichita State in the midst of a 5-game homestand. They'll entertain fellow SWAC member Southern coming up this weekend. And I think it's going to be a hand check on DJ McCarty. Mentioned earlier that Alcorn State is picked to finish 9th in the SWAC. Southern, who comes in on Friday, picked to finish 3rd. Jackson State, the favorite to win the league. That was a non-shooting foul, obviously, there on Wichita State. They've committed the only 2 fouls of the quarter, and through the hands of Leatherwood into the hands of McCarty, and she's going to win the race and lay it in for 2. DJ McCarty's first basket. She had just a free throw prior to that layup, and Wichita State must have heard our halftime adjustments or suggestions. They've been getting out and running.
Yes, and they've done it all on the defensive end. They've gone away from their zone and gotten back to what they tend to like to do, and that's play man-to-man, and it's created some opportunities for them on the offensive end.
Quintasia Leatherwood, true freshman, her first basket, not only tonight, but of her career. Lead down to a dozen again. Minute and a half gone by, fourth quarter. Colbert lost it going up, but apparently she was bumped by Wright. Wichita State will go back to the free throw line where they were 4 out of 5 in the third quarter from the stripe.
You can definitely see that WSU has made it a point to attack in the paint. They've set high ball screens for the guard to isolate the weak side post, and Colbert did a nice job. As soon as the ball reversed, she just stepped and did a great pin to get to the free throw line.
Colbert a little strong on that free throw. That's her first trip tonight. She was 1 of 2 against A&M Corpus Christi on Friday. Shockers 6 of 11, so they're +3 from the line, as Alcorn State's only 3 out of 6, so now +4 as Colbert splits a pair. She got 7 points. Shocker lead is 13. Biggest lead a couple of moments ago at 14, 55-41. And a couple of different Shockers, either Colbert or Strong involved in the block. Shockers on the run again, and Bremaw finishes. Little 12-foot jumper in transition for Carla Bremaw.
Nice job by McCarty, getting deep as the defender would let her, and then just a little kick out to Bremaw for the easy jumper.
And the points are finally coming a little easier for one of the teams here tonight. That happens to be Wichita State. The bank is open for Wright, her first triple. That's 8 on the game for Alcorn State, but they're first in quite a while.
Yeah. And Wichita State's done a much better job of contesting and getting out to shooters.
Wild shot wouldn't go, and here come the Lady Braves in transition, trying to get a transition bucket. Wouldn't go. Strong battling with Diamond Hall for the rebound. And it'll go to Wichita State, so a dead ball rebound for the Shockers. And the stops have started to come for Wichita State on the defensive end.
For Jada Colbert's going out for a much welcomed break. And
Colbert, 7 points and 6 rebounds for her.
Yeah, she's played well.
Strong going right to work and left it a little short. Got around the player guarding her, but couldn't quite get a clear look at the bucket. Strong now 7 out of 12 from the floor. Deep three, this time it wouldn't go for Wright, who banked one in the last time she was down here.
And Adams doing Adams things, rebounding.
McCarty forcing the issue. Wright got her on the arm, so it looks like Wichita State will go back to the line.
That's what I think McCarty could really add to her game if she would work on a little pull-up jumper driving deep. She's quick, but getting that defender backpedaling and using the pull-up jumper instead of trying to go too deep into the defense.
McCarty 1 out of 2 from the line tonight. She's got 3 points, has a team-high 5 assists. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's a career high for her. First free throw is up and good. 4 points for DJ McCarty, who's equaled her career high, and it happened Friday. She had 5 against A&M Corpus Christi. So she and Seraphine Basson doing a nice job of distributing. Both free throws go down for McCarty. So the lead is 14, and I doubt it would bother Keitha Adams too much. If it comes right down to it, Wichita State could salt the game away from the free throw line.
Yes.
13 to shoot for the Lady Braves. Deep angle 3 wouldn't go. And 2 Shockers fighting for it. Batted out to Clark. Corner 3, that wouldn't go. That's right again. That's her 3rd attempt here in the quarter. Baston, nice one-handed catch. And Anae Adams throws it away.
Ooh.
Offensive foul. Shockers. Is that the first one that they've drawn tonight? They committed 4 or 5, and it looked like.
I think they had one in the first half.
Did they get one? All right.
Yes.
McCarty.
It's a nice job by McCarty.
And Clark took a spill.
And again, for young players, that desire to try to get so deep that you create a bad opportunity for yourself. If they would learn to take a pull-up 5-foot jump shot, would prevent a lot of those offensive fouls. That's tough. That's tough for young kids.
Takes experience, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It really does.
4 minutes gone by. Final quarter, and good-looking jumper from the corner. Rachel Johnson, she's had her moment. She's got a 3-pointer among her 8 points tonight.
And McCarty just got another assist, so that should be season high.
6 assists for McCarty. 9 points on 3 of 8 from the floor in Rachel Johnson's debut. Wichita State, 54.5% from the floor in this half. And that one rolls in. Good shot by Abello. That's her first 2-pointer of the night. She got 8.
Yeah, the Shockers were switching those ball screens, and she had a bigger player on her, which I thought Adams did a nice job defending her. She just made even a better shot.
And there's exactly what you were talking about.
Yep.
An offensive foul by an inexperienced player. Duncan, just a freshman from Midway High School in Waco.
Yes.
And I think maybe to go along with that, let's see what you think. When you're in high school, you're probably the best player on the floor,
Absolutely.
so you can get around those
Sure.
players when you're in high school.
That's true. And Alcorn State's done a really nice job. They've always have great help rotation. Their kids move their feet and they get themselves set. So they've drawn a lot of charges that way. But again, some of that's impatience and inexperience and not taking what the defense is giving you, but trying to create something that's not necessarily there.
Inside out, that 3 won't go, and now all of a sudden the 3s that were going down for Alcorn State in the first half have dried up. Wichita State leading by 15 midway through the 4th.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clearer skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
This is Theragun by Therabody, the percussive therapy device that has been the secret of professional trainers, weekend warriors, and all-star athletes looking to get to their next level. Theragun's scientifically calibrated depth and force designed to keep you moving freer and living better. Professional-grade power that's felt, not heard. Whether you're making memories, making a deal, or making history, visit Theragun.com and change the way you move.
Ashley Flowers. Your Supernatural podcast was the only thing that kept me entertained this year. Well, besides my own investigation. I will find out who's been stealing my snacks. I'm so close.
Verizon 5G is here with the coverage of 5G nationwide and the unprecedented performance of ultra-wideband in more and more places where people need massive capacity and ultra-low lag. This is the 5G America's been waiting for, only from Verizon.
This year is not normal.
We have no idea what's going to happen.
2020 has been about overcoming adversity.
Absolute chaos.
This is happening. There is a postseason.
Stop.
It is a week-to-week thing. What are you most interested in seeing?
It is going to be the eye test. The eye test.
There's a great deal of anticipation. They're going to have some difficult choices to make.
Alcorn State has found the going a little tougher offensively here in the second half, shooting just 32% from the floor and 8 of 25. They've only made 3 of 10 three-pointers. And Wichita State on the other side shooting a blistering 12 out of 22. Shane Dennis, Tracy Anderson, and the free-flowing offense that Wichita State was so desperate for in the first half has finally showed up.
Well, and they've done it on the defensive end. Their defense has created easy opportunities on the offensive end. And so they've done kind of two things. Their defense has really slowed down Alcorn and created offensive opportunities for themselves.
Strong misfires, and Baston looked like maybe a little shove against Obello underneath. She kind of went old school there, raised her hand. Yeah, that was
I
me.
know.
Fourth team foul against Wichita State here in the fourth. So Alcorn State outscored in the second quarter by 5, in the third by 9, and so far here in the fourth quarter by 3 after leading by 3 at the end of 10 minutes. Alcorn State has played 10, so Coach Kilbert has played 5 off the bench. And to the free throw line will go Curtis Clark. Will be Clark's first trip to the line, and only the 7th and 8th overall in the game for Alcorn State. That was a point of contention that you thought maybe would keep Alcorn hanging around if they could drive, get to the basket, get to the line, and get the Shockers in foul trouble, but really none of those things have happened.
Right, because they haven't really taken advantage of those driving lanes. When the Shockers went man-to-man, they did a little bit more out top of high post screen, but that situation, they got in isolation. She did a really nice job of being patient, squaring up her defender, and then attacking that defender's low foot in order to get to the free throw line.
Curtis Clark maybe with a little frustration there before she shot her second free throw. She's had a rough night. She's got 11 points, but she comes up empty on a trip to the free throw line there, and that's something that Alcorn State cannot afford, and some good fortune for Rachel Johnson.
Yes.
She had a pass deflected that ended up in her lap, and she lays it up and in. So in her first game, she's got double figures. That's the third Shocker in double numbers. Clark leading all Lady Braves with 11 points. There's another turnover. Wichita State wants to run again.
Oh, great feed pass.
Well, and Asia Strong finishes in transition. That's now 13 fast break points for Wichita State, and the Shockers are in control with 3.5 and change left to go in the game. Boy.
That was a great pass, but an even better catch by Strong. You know, had to go down to almost her shoestrings to catch that pass, and the body control to finish. Nice.
And with the left hand, too.
Yes.
So, Miss Fundamental, Asia Strong, after 20 in her debut, We kind of joked at the outset that she set the bar pretty high for herself in her debut from Trinity Valley Community College. But she's got 16 more tonight, a couple of assists, a couple of blocked shots. I'm sure Keith Adams would like for her to get on the boards a little bit more, but when you have a player of Asia Strong's caliber that can seemingly get any shot and all shots, that's a special thing to have.
Well, and she's done the job on the defensive end because she's been switched out on a point guard last couple of trips, and she helped cause a deflection, and then she ran the floor. That's just effort. And, you know, it doesn't take anything but talent to do that, but she's just hustling and doing the little things in order to put herself in a great position. I can see why Coach Adams and her staff are so high on her, because she does a lot of the little things. She doesn't just commit to just being a scorer. She does little things. She defends. She sits down on the defensive end, and she sprints the floor. She easily could have just let that go and just said, hey, I'll let that happen, but she sprinted ahead and got an easy bucket out of it.
And a lot of times when you describe a player as scoring easily, it's not, I mean, it's a compliment, but right. It's not that your effort is coming into question, but she scores easy baskets.
Right, because, and this is what a lot of young players don't understand, is great players and scorers do the work before they get the ball, before the ball's in their hands. It's not once the ball's in their hands. If you look at the great female players, and male players too, but Brianna Stewart, Sue Bird, they do so much, Deladon, they do so much before they get the ball in their hands that it looks like it's easy because they set their defenders up, they go tight off screens, they sprint the floor. So it's not, they don't do all the work when they get the ball in their hands. They do it before that. And that's what young players, if they watch the game and they really look, that's what they'd find out your great players do. They do the work beforehand.
And Strong missed a chunk of minutes due to injury in that first quarter. She's only played 21 minutes, but she got 16 points. So, Shockers by 19, 3.5 left. See what Alcorn State has left, and a 3 in the corner. That's the first in quite a while. McAfee's second triple, but her first since the first half. And now Wichita State obliges by turning it over, so it's going to take a bevy of three-pointers if Alcorn State's going to make Wichita State sweat here down the stretch. One other thing that Wichita State has done a good job of shoring up, last possession notwithstanding, is the turnovers. They had a lot early, but only 15 for the game.
Well, they were much more patient, and moved the ball side to side and transition. Buckets helped.
That's 33s jacked up by Alcorn State tonight. They've made 10.
That's a lot of threes.
So they've made exactly 33% of their 2s and 3s tonight.
You know, we've talked tonight about Wichita State being impatient offensively, but Alcorn State's been that way too. They're a team that likes to drive and kick, and they've really settled for the outside three-pointers because the Shockers have been content giving it to them.
Abello with the steal, now thinks better of it, back between the rings, setting up the offense with 18 on the shot clock, closing in on 2.5 minutes left, and now Nathaniel Kilbert just telling her, hang on, wait for a high ball screen, and operate yourself. 8 to shoot.
Oh, great feed.
Oh, and at the last possible instant, dumped it off to Mitchell, who couldn't finish. And Strong splits 2 players and traveled. Maybe in another league, but not this one.
Yeah.
So the Shockers now with, I think, 3 turnovers in succession that have
that's
turned
really
things
not
a little sloppy.
her fault. Even if she got that within 2 players around her, not really a good feed for her. She couldn't have done anything had she caught it cleanly.
So a 30-second timeout called by Alcorn State, lead down to 16 with just a shade over 2 minutes left. So the Shockers will stay home. This is the second of 5 scheduled. Non-conference, all here. This weekend, extended weekend, will be Southern and Missouri Valley Conference opponent Northern Iowa on Sunday afternoon. before they wrap up this 5-game non-conference homestand with South Dakota coming up on the 10th.
I mean, you have to like that scheduling. You get to open this type of year at home. That's, especially when you're shorthanded, that's good scheduling for the Shockers.
Meanwhile, Alcorn State from here will go to Ole Miss and New Orleans before they go home to open SWAC play with Texas Southern. A good-looking jumper from the right elbow from Diamond Hall. That's her first 2-point basket. She has 9 points overall. And Alcorn on a little mini run here to make it more respectable. They're within 14 after 3 consecutive Shocker turnovers.
Obella has just been hawking Seraphine, and that's a tough matchup, but she's done a good job of keeping Seraphine in front of her.
So the Shockers over the limit when it comes to Alcorn State having the ball. Fouls anyway. And the next Lady Brave foul will put the Shockers at the free throw line for the final 137. Well, the difference in this one was pretty much that third quarter where the Shockers came out smoldering hot. They scored 22 points in the third period. And that kind of catapulted them to having a little breathing room. The lead got up to as many as 19 here in the second half after it was very much in doubt in the first half. This is a dogfight in the first 20 minutes.
Yes, their third quarter was a much better played third quarter on both sides of the ball for the Shockers.
Colbert picks up the personal, and free throws coming again for Curtis Clark. Clark came up empty in her previous trip to the line. Overall, Lady Braves 3 out of 8.
The Lady Braves have done some nice things, and they got some things that they can definitely grow on. It'll be interesting to see how they do, because I think they're a little thin in the paint defensively, and so if they have to match up against teams that are a little bigger, that's going to cause them some problems. But I like their guard play, and they play hard and play aggressive, so you can always work with that.
Yeah, they were minus 11 on the boards against Southeast Louisiana in a 34-point loss, but only minus 2 here tonight. Yeah. It's pretty much been back and forth as far as the rebound battle.
Yeah, they were in the game because they were able to get extra possessions by offensive rebounding and turning the Shockers over early. And when the Shockers shored that up, it kind of changed the whole game. Nice pass.
Nay Adams shovels underneath to Trajana Colbert. It's another stat line or part of the stat sheet that Wichita State back-to-back games done a nice job of sharing the ball. That's 17 assists.
Yes, and that's what Coach Adams was really happy with on the first game, and she thought if they could do that this game, that would equate to success for them.
Long three off the heel, no good. Rebound Rachel Johnson. She's fouled right in front of us. Looked like Diamond Hall got a piece of her. So the final half minute, we'll see at least a couple of free throws here. It's Rachel Johnson's debut as a Shocker, just in the nick of time after Mariah McCulley left that game Friday afternoon with a apparent ankle injury. She was scheduled to get that checked out today, so hopefully McCulley won't be out for too much longer. And as we mentioned at the very top of the show, Tracy, it was kind of a net zero. They lost a player but got Rachel Johnson back, so their roster sitting at 8 and holding right now.
Yeah, and that was really important because, McCauley does a lot of things for them on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively, and is a big scoring punch. And it looks like Johnson likes to score. She looks to score. She's aggressive, and so hopefully, when we get McCauley back, that can just provide extra scores on the perimeter for the Shockers.
So Wichita State backs up a 78-point output against the Islanders of A&M Corpus Christi with at least 71 here tonight, when it looked like 71 would be a far cry for anybody, especially after that first quarter. But again, Wichita State opened it up a little bit, and for the second straight game, they have and will flirt with 50% from the floor.
Yeah, they came out of the halftime and I think, established an inside presence with Strong. They got the ball inside, and defensively they were just much more active and aggressive, even if they were in the zone, and then they switched to the man-to-man, and that created some transition points for them.
And we got to say, with the skeleton crew that Keith Adams does have to work with, it looked like Wichita State was a better conditioned team. In the second half, it seemed like offensively they got stronger, and Alcorn State kind of wilted a little bit with the stuff they ran offensively.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and they got into a flow. Sometimes it's interesting when you kind of change your game plan to adapt. They're not really a zone team. They don't play a lot of zone in the past, but it can kind of lull you into not being aggressive, and it seemed once they went to man-to-man, it just energized them, and they did look like the better conditioned team down the stretch.
Shockers have shot 64% in this quarter, 55.5 for the half, and meanwhile, Alcorn State's offense just sputtered in the second half, and they couldn't find a groove. 33% on 10 of 30 from the floor. So it looks like going to be how it ends. We'll see if Alcorn State elects to maybe hoist it up one more time. They will, and no good. That was kind of the story of the second half for the Lady Braves as Wichita State wins it going away. So a couple of 20-point quarters in the second half. They outscore the Lady Braves 42-26. And it wasn't always easy. It seemed like the Islander game was a little more smooth sailing for the Shockers than the Lady Braves game, but credit that team from Alcorn State that falls to 0-2, but was a game opponent for about 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, they played well, and like I said, they got some things that they can grow on and they can improve on, and I think they'll do better in this SWAC than ninth place.
Yeah. So the final score is 71-53. Shockers improved to 2-0. Alcorn State still looking for its first win. They'll try to get it at Ole Miss in their next road game. We'll be back with some more thoughts here post-game. Shockers win it by 18 here on ESPN+.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats differently. For psoriasis, 75% clearer skin is achievable with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. For psoriatic arthritis, Otezla is proven to reduce joint swelling, tenderness, and pain. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
So, what should we do today?
Should we just go see a movie?
Yes.
Go Rogue in the all-new fiercely reimagined Nissan Rogue.
This is Theragun by Therabody, the percussive therapy device that has been the secret of professional trainers, weekend warriors, and all-star athletes looking to get to their next level. Visit Theragun.com. Change the way you move.
Taylor, August. It got me through August. Oh, and September. And that really weird week in October, and probably all of December too. Honestly, I wish it was there for me in March because, well, March.
Do you have a favorite football team growing up?
I started to watch this guy, Tom Brady.
All right, that'll do it.
It's target practice.
Yes! Here we go.
Hi, Peyton.
For president?
Can't shoot with that.
Omaha.
There it is!
Nothing but net.
Light switch off. Cuban link cross. The shine bright of the evening. Diamonds crisscross.
En route to going 2-0 on the young season, Wichita State, this was a tale of two halves. It was a series of jabs and feeling each other out in the first half, trying to figure out what we could get done offensively, what we couldn't, and Wichita State really had the better of it in the second half. The offense was more free-flowing. Alcorn State, while hanging around a little bit with some three-pointers in the first half, just couldn't quite find the momentum to hang with Wichita State offensively in the second half.
No, the Shockers definitely had more scoring punch, but they didn't show that in the first half because they weren't patient enough to get to that. But in the second half, they established strong in the paint, and defensively, they turned it up a notch to create some turnovers and easy transition. And
they also got some runouts. The final stats will bear that out, that Wichita State shot 50% from the floor, 50.9 to be exact, 55.5% in the second half, 63.6 in the fourth quarter. Fast break points, you don't see that on the graphic there, but 15-1 for Wichita State. And I thought, Tracy, and I think you would agree, the athletes that are capable of getting out and running did just that and got Wichita State some easy ones.
They sure did. And the Shockers did a nice job of sharing the ball. 18 assists on 27 attempts. That's good team offense there. And the Shockers did a nice job of distributing, getting the ball to the open player, and they made it count. 51%. She's got to be extremely happy with that.
Absolutely. On the heels of 48.3 on Friday afternoon. And I think our play of the game will bear out what we were just talking about, sharing the ball. McCarty had 6 assists, Baston had 4, Johnson had 3. And this was a case, Tracy, of Wichita State turning defense into offense.
Yeah, and again, a good defensive possession. Bremaw with the block, and then the great lead for Asia Strong, who just ran the floor.
And she had at least 3 fast break baskets, maybe more than that, on her way to finishing with a game-high 16 points. Our player of the game, we had a few decisions to make here, but Carla Bremaw finished with 14 points, 3 more three-pointers. That on the heels of 5 three-pointers in the opener against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And if Carla Bremaw, she's not going to shoot 3 out of 5 or 5 out of 8 every single time, but she is a threat, and that's somebody you have to deal with.
Yeah, and she's shooting the ball with a lot of confidence right now. Her stroke looks excellent, and the guards are doing a nice job, all the players, of kicking the ball to her in her rhythm and giving her a good shot opportunity.
Not something that Wichita State did a lot of last year, and that's shoot the 3, but they were 6 of 13 tonight and 8 of 19 on Friday, so maybe a harbinger of things to come. Wichita State's homestand will continue on Friday, and Alcorn State's in the midst of a 4-game roadie looking for the Lady Braves' first victory. So the Shockers go to 2-0. For Tracy Anderson, I'm Shane Dennis, and for our entire crew, thanks so much for watching tonight. Wichita State wins it 71-53.